What's up, guys? Back again to r/Prorevenge. Another 3 stories locked, loaded, and ready to go. First, we've got an entitled mother who thinks it's okay to just randomly drop her daughter off at a bookstore for hours on end. Next, we've got Karate Kid and a mailbox that fights back. And finally, we've got an entitled BMW driver who pushes our OP just a little bit too far. And of course, we've got our bonus at the end, and it's a subreddit we haven't even checked out before, so make sure you stick around for that as well. Alright, let's get in it. EM thinks we're a daycare. Welp, her child is gone now. I used to work in a small chain of bookstores/stationery shops. We'd sell books, pens, paper, and so on. It was a quirky little store, straight out of a romantic love novella, or Stephen King book if you prefer. This happened a few years ago, and I reconstructed it from memory. While I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, I can't guarantee it. The cast of this play: EM, entitled mother; LG, a South Korean multinational conglomerate corporation, a little girl; me, a virtue example of a working class hero, just me; ND, nice dad, of little girl. EM walks into the store with LG. It's rather early in the morning. EM looks around, asks me if I could watch her child. Me, oh no, I'm terrible with children, sorry. EM tells me it's not for that long, and I shouldn't be such a fuss about it. I still politely refuse. It's not my job to watch children. I'm afraid to do something wrong. What happens? EM leaves the store. Who do I find hidden in the corner? LG, who seems to be rather shy/fearful. This happened back in a time before everyone had smartphones. The kid obviously didn't have a mobile on it. I suspected the mother also wouldn't. Wasn't too surprised that LG didn't know the number of their landline. I sigh. What are you gonna do? If something happens to that kid while being in the store, and you being the only present employee, you're gonna have a bad time. Me, hey girl, what's your name? LG, her name. Me, I'm my name and surname. LG, happy like only kids can be if they think they did something smart or they knew something. My surname is surname. Now this rang a bell. I had a good customer with the same surname. It turns out that it's her dad. I didn't get paid enough to babysit. In fact, I didn't even get paid enough to do my normal work. I call her dad at his workplace since we saved that number in our system. The call went along these lines. Hi Andy, it's me, from bookstore XY. Andy, oh, hi me. How's it going? I don't remember having any open orders. Me, yeah, listen, do you have a daughter? Andy, confused. Yes, why do you ask? Me, what's her name? I just wanted to ensure it's really her dad and not just a stupid coincidence. If I think about it now, LG told me it's her dad, so I don't know why I wasn't sure. ND apologizes for EM's behavior and tells me he's gonna pick LG up as soon as possible. While waiting for ND, I picked up one of our sale books, boxed with damaged books that we're trying to sell with a huge discount before throwing away. A picture book from Disney. LG tries to read a little, I read a little. ND arrives. LG runs to him and hugs him, crying that mommy was mean to her. ND soothes her and thanks me for babysitting her. He gives me a bottle of wine and buys something small from the store. ND, if EM shows up again, could you not tell her that I picked up LG? Me, what? Why? ND, if you don't feel like it, you don't need to. It's rather complicated, and you already did so much for us. ND leaves. In the evening, EM shows up. Just to point out, she dropped LG off at about 9 o'clock. It was 17:45. Side note, that's 5:45 in standard time. EM, where's my daughter? Me, already chugged about half the bottle of wine, and thus a little boozed. Your what? EM, my daughter. I dropped her in this store and you were here. Me, way too drunk for work, but already decided to go for another job. Or homeless. Both would have been better. Your what? EM was on the edge. Thus, I did what I thought was the smartest thing to do. Me. A guy came into the store and picked her up. He seemed nice. Gave me some wine for her. At this point, I expected her to explode/attack me. But she just left the store. A few weeks pass, and ND and LG come to the store, both happy to see me. ND asks me if I've got a few minutes. An excuse not to work? Obviously, I took the time for customer service. Gave LG the same book we've read the last time, and had a talk with ND. EM and ND were in the middle of a divorce when EM dropped LG at our store. One of the reasons ND wanted a divorce was that EM wasn't nice to LG. Now, in my country, as a male, it's rather hard to get custody for your child, no matter what. LG wanted to be with ND, but that doesn't matter. EM dropping LG in our store was a gift of the heavens. ND took LG to his sister's overnight. EM pretended that LG was sleeping at one of her friends. ND wanted to call them just to ensure that LG is fine. EM didn't want that. LG's friend didn't know where LG is. EM claimed she dropped LG off at LG's friend. ND fake panicked and involved the police. EM insisted that LG's friend kidnapped LG. Police asked ND and EM separately, and ND told the police what happened. EM still insisted on her dropping LG at LG's friend. ND had proof of it being otherwise, since he already called the police when he dropped LG at his sister's house. Now in court, ND apparently said something like, EM can have all she wants, even my wine collection. I just want to be with my daughter. EM, knowing that ND didn't have any money left and had some quite expensive wines, agreed. Daughter ended up with ND, mother paying alimony. What EM didn't know, ND was replacing his wine collection before the divorce with the cheapest wines he could find at different discounters, gifting away the expensive ones. He knew that EM is either gonna take everything from him or will break his wine collection. We both laugh. I gifted the book to LG, who seemed very happy. When EM dropped her off, she was shy, seemed small, and now she had such a big smile on her face and was curious for everything. She could read much better than a few weeks ago. She seemed like a bird taking off to fly towards the sun. I absolutely hated my job. But situations like these make me a little bit nostalgic. Somehow, I miss the direct interactions with customers. On the other hand, I don't. I obviously don't. Let's give this woman a Mama of the Year award, giving up her daughter for a few fancy wines. Bravo, ma'am. Bravo. Spin kick our mailbox? Get a broken leg. Our mailman had a mailbox like this, where he would pick up the mail at the end of his route to take back to the post office. One day, some smart A kid started spin kicking the mailbox to knock it over and show off what he learned in karate. This went on for a bit until the kid's parents were told, and even his karate teacher. The kid was grounded and got kicked out of karate class. Unfortunately, a week after his grounding, out of spite, pride, whatever, he went back to kicking it over whenever he could. This continues for another month, till one day, the smart A kid again does his roundhouse kick into the mailbox, and it doesn't budge. The mailbox stood up as solid as a brick wall, causing his leg to fracture and ending up having to wear a cast for the rest of the summer. Turns out, some anonymous neighbor decided to mail a bunch of sandbags with no return addresses the night before. The mom of the smart A kid tried to blame the post office and threatened to sue, but since the sandbags had stamps and even an address to Santa, they were considered legally mail and not maliciously placed into the mailbox. Don't try to pass the blame, lady. This is all on you for having zero control of an unruly child. Don't let him damage other people's property. I warned you not to park here. This all happened when I was a young man, around 21 years old. I was sharing a flat with another young bloke in the Perth suburb, Australia. I had not long had my first car, an old 1972 beat-up old Ford Falcon. You know, base model, slightly rusted, air-conditioned floor, etc. I'm 50 now, so quite a long time ago. I loved my old Ford. It was roomy, comfortable, and reliable. As part of the large block of flats we lived in, each flat was given 2 parking spaces, one undercover and one open. My spot, clearly numbered with a 2 and a large white paint digit, was the open space. All was well for a few months. I was getting along really well with my flatmates, and we got along with our neighbors. Enter entitled person. He drove a fairly new BMW, nice and flashy. Whilst I was at work, he took it upon himself to allow himself to steal my spot. In Australia, the Ford Falcon was one of the largest cars on the road, and parking it was difficult. It would be classified as a mid-size or even compact in the USA. I get home and my spot is occupied. Damn. Off I go to find someone else's spot to borrow for the night. I ask Unit 1, as I know they don't have a car, and they were quite accommodating to me. Still, I go inside and write a note for the owner of the BMW and neatly place it under his windscreen wiper, hoping that a polite request would do the trick. Nope. Next day, same thing. Now, I'm getting a little irritated. I repeat the previous night's efforts, but made the knot bigger and a tad ruder. I know he got the message, because the bits of paper were gone. Day 3, same again. It's the weekend. Unit 1 couldn't lend me their spot, as they had visitors. Okay, fair enough. I parked my big old Falcon across the front of the BMW, blocking it in. I wasn't going anywhere that weekend. Next morning, BMW was gone. Somehow it managed to slip the coop. I steal my spot back again. That evening, the BMW did to me what I did to him, blocking me in. I see red. Upset me is not nice me. I'm patient. I bide my time. Monday morning, he's gone, and I go to work. Monday evening, yep, you guessed it, spot taken again. Fair dinkum, does this guy think he owns the spot? Revenge mode. New note, on a sheet of A4 paper, written on his windscreen with big black text, the type that goes through the page. Full sheet is stuck to his windscreen with that horrible masking tape that always leaves something behind when it's peeled off. The next day, note gone, and BMW still in my spot. Okay. Same again with the note. Rude to the extreme. Kindly explaining to the BMW why in the 7 dark levels of hell he shouldn't park in someone else's spot. Maybe even referring to his dubious parentage. I then get out the big gun, my silicone gel. I use the entire tube, plastering every last square millimeter of the page, and stuck it to his windscreen, right in front of where his eyes would look through at the road. Try ignoring that. When I go to leave for work the next morning, the BMW is gone, nowhere to be seen. I saw it further down the car park a couple days later, with a brand new windscreen. Needless to say, he never parked in my spot again. In fact, neither did anyone else. Ever. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like it would have been a lot easier to have the car just towed away. But me not being in the situation, there might have been a reason for not doing it, so I'm not gonna judge. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's last few stories. And now like usual, we're gonna switch it up and go right into the bonus. And today's bonus has been suggested by this chap right here. We're gonna be reading r/Florida Man. Let's get in it. The patient's head wasn't bleeding from just the crash. Florida Man paramedic punched him too. See, when they say sit still, you're injured, that's just a threat of what's to come. So sit down, little boy, or the fist of healing will clock your jaw. Florida woman named Crystal, arrested for crystal meth trafficking. She finally met her parents' expectations. I'm so proud of her. Florida woman threatens hair salon with machete, poops in patrol car. You see, this is what happens when you hang out with our girl Crystal just a little too long. Florida man arrested just weeks after taking over for Florida mayor who was arrested. You know, I would question how these people can even get into office, and then I'd think over to Crystal and the patrol pooper, and it all starts to make sense. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Now keep in mind, if you have ideas for a bonus, please leave it in the comments below. I love having you guys interact with the videos, and long term, I'd like to make the bonus only based on what you guys choose. So whether it's something we've read in the past or something new you want to hear, feel free to post it below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.